The key to the doorway that is your mind is silence. Silence brings about a whole potential of new possibilities. The mind chatter and the mental descriptions are all ways for us to understand our reality in a very helpful way, and it's also disempowering because it only limits us to a specific type of way of relating and a way of making connections. And if we are only making connections within a limited frame of reference, then we are then not making the connections that will allow us to experience greater joy, greater bliss, and effectively all these vibrations and frequencies of love and joy and bliss are all higher frequencies. They're all much quicker and much more rapid rates of vibration. And when we are limiting ourselves, we are cutting ourselves off from this vibration, and we are cutting ourselves off from this kind of natural growth and natural stepping into of infinity of the idea and of the concept and of the descriptions that we are forever, essentially, and that we are not the body, because the body and the material world is full of descriptions, and the more that you identify with that which is finite and that which is limited in the scope of what you can see, feel, touch, hear, smell, etc., those are all just a portion of what you are. You are a much greater being that transcends the time and space that you are currently in. And that goes to say also that the frequency that you're vibrating at, whether it's depression or confusion or distress or pure just complete giving up, whatever vibration that is only a portion of what you are capable of having. So you have it within your own capacity to awaken and expand what you are really able to think of, and you are able to feel, because the feeling is your state of being. That feeling is your own way to communicate to yourself and communicate that you are a much less identifiable state of resonance. And this state of resonance is not all the time what we think it is, and it's whatever we think it is. And that state of resonance can also, whatever we think can be adjusted, and whatever we resonate at can be adjusted. So whatever we think about or whatever we don't think about, we are resonating on that. So does that make sense? Hopefully, whatever we are not resonating at, we are resonating at. So if we're not resonating from the complete bliss and joy and the passion that we can feel in our lives, then we are truly not resonating at that. Then that's not a potential for us. That's not a potential for you. And to bring that potential back into your life and imagine again that you are a divine creator, a divine being that is much broader and much greater than what you assume you are as a personality, as a person in the world, as a particular social role, a particular place in time space. And you are not just this linear being that's going through a experience of point A to point B to point C to point D. That is just one way for us to look at it, and is relevant for us as we only have a certain degree of potential within our collective right now, and we agreed upon that before we incarnated. So that potential that we experience and that potential that we are limited by, in essence, is something that we are all learning, and that limitation is a great teacher. It is the best teacher for us to lift off and go into a new potential, a new state of being, a new human, a new version of you as a individual. And this version of you is multidimensional. It is much more grand and infinitely more joyous and loving and compassionate than you have ever thought. Because thoughts, our modern day thought and our real world ideas are not loving. They are very self-centered. They want to get a profit all the time, and they want to have the nice car and because those things are all symbols of value, and value to be sought out in the world is only going to give you so much fulfillment. And if you need these external value systems and these external symbols of value, then it's really not going to give yourself value and worth. So you'll always be seeking it outwardly. And going back to silence and how the doorway of the mind needs silence to open it, is that the thought constructs are a entanglement of different networks of beliefs and different networks of ideas that all are making your reality what it is right now, what it is today, what state of being you are. So this entanglement and this knot of thoughts are all giving you the experience that you are feeling and that you are seeing right now in the physical world. So this knot and this network of thoughts that are so entrenched and enmeshed in each other and are, it's so difficult for an individual to see clearly what it is that particularly is the loose shoestring or the loose rope that you can pull and the whole knot will unravel. And this looking at this network of thoughts that is so crystallized will have the ability to intuit and to feel through and to reflect on what it is that you are ultimately is the root and the essential belief that you have that is preventing you from living a seamless and clarified and simple life. The beliefs that are all tied together and are difficult to perceive and to distinguish from you and are unclear in your mind, those are all descriptions, those are all forms of ways for the mind, which does not exist, to coil itself around and to make itself real, more of a physical manifestation. And this is going to happen regardless whether you choose it or not. And the less you choose, the less the more victimized you are. So the more that you choose, the less victimized you are. The more that you choose to believe, and the more that you choose to reflect on what it is that you truly desire and what it is that really is the core of what you are seeking to experience in this moment. Because the thing that you are experiencing, that you are seeking to experience right now, is only your connection to a greater intelligence, a greater source of love, a greater source of who you really are. That real you is your higher self. It's your multidimensional self. That higher connection that you are seeking through with all the endeavors and distractions in the world is your true future self. Your future self is millions and billions and billions and billions and billions of years in the future, and you in our future, in our idea of time. But time doesn't really exist, so it actually happens all at once, and we are connected to that on a portion of us is that, and we are a portion of that immense self, that sixth density person, and that sixth density identity that is has cast itself out as a human being. And for you to connect back with that, it's really important that you go through a cleansing of thoughts and cleansing of mental distortions, mental biases, mental preferences, because silence is the clear and the most purifying thing that we can go through if we are constantly being contaminated by all these different thoughts and beliefs. And we are being contaminated by these beliefs and thoughts every single moment. And that's why it's really important to take this time to create the space. And you can go through all these different protocols, techniques, leaders, gurus, all these people, and they all have something to offer. And that is what you choose is going to help you, And it's really important that the self and the person reflects and sits in their own silence, because someone else can hold all the silence for you and to give you the space to heal, but ultimately it is the decision up to you. And silence heals. Silence is the awareness and the presence of all that are in the hospital right now. Everybody in the hospital is being enveloped with silence, is enveloped with awareness, pure, non-judgmental, completely neutral silence. And they go to the hospital because they think they will be healed by that. So at the hospital, they are healed because that's what they chose. And the same for you needs to happen is, if in order for you to heal, you need to choose what your healing is. You need to choose what it is that is going to liberate you, set you free, make you whole again, make you complete, make you fulfilled. You have to choose that, and you have to align your actions, speech, behavior, demeanor to that belief that you think you are going to feel that way. So but there's a disclaimer here that if what you think is going to heal you or make you feel more joy or happiness or peace and fulfillment is outside of you, then it's only going to complicate and postpone your healing, joy, freedom, bliss, love, state of being, and it's only going to complicate things. It's only going to make things more. It's only going to perpetuate more suffering and lack and desire. The desire to feel or resonate on a certain vibration is not what is killing us, and is not what is taking us out of bliss and joy and love. It's the lack. It's the lack of not having your desire. That feeling of not being complete already is what is keeping you from feeling whole again. So, however it is you can create space in your life and create and hold space for yourself in a neutral way is the way that you are going to ultimately give yourself a greater ability to feel what it is you want to feel. And that means that we need to interact again with the imagination and to instill this inspiration that lives within us, deep within us. And that is the only place that we are going to feel any kind of liberation or any kind of semblance of detachment from what it is that is being limiting us. The limitations are more than you can conceptually see now, and I will be talking, a great deal in the future about techniques and ways to detach yourself from these beliefs, from these things that you are agreeing to attach yourself to, and the attachments that we are agreeing to and that we are buying into and getting a payoff from are all something that you can now choose to create space from. And that's the first step, is to create a opening and a gap in between who you identify as and what you are capable of, and make that space in between your idea of what it is that you're limited by, or what it is you have to do, or what your responsibility is, or what is keeping you from. If you open up the gap between whatever it is that you are believing and thinking and choosing to feel that limitation of, the more that you will have the freedom and the ability to do what it is you truly desire, and the thing that gives you the most fulfillment. And that is all what we need, is to feel more fulfilled, complete, whole, and loving towards ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, we can't love each other. We can't love another person. So the most important thing is to love yourself, be silent, open up the doorway of what it is that you are in right now and open up the doorway to another possibility, another room, another place where you can believe in and that you can experience up here, that you can experience in your mind. And the key to experiencing another room, another dimension, another possibility, another timeline, another version of yourself, another future version of yourself, parallel dimension, is silence. The key to that door of a new potential is the silence, and that will open up your space, that will open up your electromagnetic field, it will open up your imagination to your vision. It will clarify and remove any constructs that are limiting you in your sight that sees without eyes here. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. And I also offer many other things, such as my book and sessions for the future. So if you are interested, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.